late nights, I just cry.
Welcome back to the A&A podcast. Speak your truth for real people, real conversations. I mean, at this point, like I said, like y'all know who I am. I always do this intro according to Adrian. So
that's like I said, that's you, bro.
Respect.
You know who it is, Adrian, AT. We back for episode 4.
Episode 4. What we talking about?
It's about to get real toxic in here. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah. So, heavy on the real people, real conversation. This our first guest. We got our first guest here today, man.
Hello.
And who are you?
My name is Asia.
Asia.
Yes.
Okay.
My name is India, but today we're going by Asia.
Triple A. I like that. Triple A.
Yeah, AAA battery, shorty.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a writer, I'm a poet, and I'm working to be a public speaker, working to have my own platform. So I'm very honored to be here on the A&A podcast because I feel like it's good to have a woman say so. So
we're honored to have you.
Of course, man.
Thank you.
Heavy on the real people, real conversation. So let's get right into it, man. Toxicity, man, all over. Specifically, toxic masculinity. Heavy on the toxic masculinity.
We're gonna jump into that first.
So for a lot of people that don't know what that might mean, I have a definition for you guys. So it's a narrow, repressive description of manhood. Okay, designating that manhood is defined as violence, sex, status, and aggression. So pretty much, if I got money, if I got a lot of money, I'm a man. If I have a lot of sex, I'm a man. If I can fight, I'm a man. Things of that nature.
Really think about the things that definitely like other guys, like think about the things that your dad, your father figures, other brothers were really trying to teach you what a man really was. A lot of the stuff they tried to teach you and tell you about was definitely toxic. So I think it's about time we really realize that it doesn't take all that to be a man. You don't need all that stuff to be a man. So
It's time to unlearn and relearn.
Yeah, this is what this episode is for.
So let's take a little steps back. So we did polls. We do polls from time to time to kind of get you guys' feedback of like what you think certain things are. And
what you get?
So I asked people, what do you think of when you hear the word toxic? Kind of some responses that stood out to me were controlling, forceful engagements that are manipulative, and also like controlling manipulative behaviors that that can cause somebody to do some bad things, pretty much.
Yeah.
You anything?
So basically, my poll was: do you think toxic masculinity is a thing? 44 people said yes, and 4 people said no. Personally, I definitely think it's definitely a thing.
Oh yeah,
I think it's definitely as a man, I think it's definitely a thing out in this world.
Like you gotta think about it, bro. Like how many times have we had conversations with certain people, bro, and they, like, man, you're not hard. Like you're not.
Something like that.
You're not valid because.
And then we look at like say we have a friend who isn't that well with the females and ladies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We look down on that person just because he can't get as much as the next man or something like that.
Right. But that don't make you any less of a man than
I feel like it's a confidence thing.
Of course. It's just like, obviously if a man were to, have a lot of girls in his line, that's an ego thing. It boosting his ego, make him feel like he's above a lot of people.
Violence as well. A lot of people who I guess you can say can really fight, we look at them, oh yeah, that's a man just because he can fight. No.
Right. Gervonta Davis is not more of a man than Barack Obama.
Just because he can fight. You know what I'm saying?
He can defend himself, but that don't mean he has what it takes to be a man. You just know what it takes to survive.
Exactly.
Literally. So.
And there's a lot of things that's like that, like toxic masculinity. So like, when we play basketball, bro. So I was at the court like last week, man, and sometimes things get a little unchy, little rowdy. A lot of arguing on the court, especially over like certain calls and stuff, man. Me, me, I'm not the type of person to really argue with nobody for.
You got the call.
I you got it. But it was just that day, like things are kind of escalated.
We had time today.
I had just a little bit, but it was just like after the fact, right? We arguing during the game. The game's over, and I'm talking to the dude that one of the people I was pretty much arguing. Like, man, you know me, man. I'm not trying to even get into that type of. I don't like getting like that, bro. He's like, you know what? He said, bro, you good. I respect you. As a man, that means a lot to me, bro. If another man says he respects me, bro, because
respect is earned, it's not given.
Right. You don't just go somewhere thinking that somebody has to respect you, but like
Right.
I've seen this man before on multiple occasions. Like we're not the closest of friends.
course.
I barely even know this man's name, but he says every time like I respect you, bro, because you know you're a cool dude, you got game, all this
Did you cry?
stuff.
Did you cry?
I mean, I ain't cry, but I'm saying I'm not.
Shed a tear.
You the real MVP, bro. I appreciate that.
Yeah, but even that, bro, like we've seen people cry. I've had people cry in front of me before, like on some man,
Yeah,
on
I've
some
seen
mad
a couple
time.
of my bros cry.
Like I'm not gonna sit there and make my man feel bad because he's crying.
Hey,
Like
when you losing 2K,
Right.
you cry a couple times. I don't lose 2K.
you don't lose in 2K.
I mean, everyone loses, but I definitely win most of my games. But yeah.
So maybe you should say, I don't always lose in 2K.
You know what? You're right, Asa. I apologize. You're definitely right.
Asia's smart, y'all. Asia's smart.
She
Appreciate it.
She alright.
Oh, we got a hater on the building.
Nah, not even like that. Not even like that. So
Okay, I understand.
so I asked people the same thing. I got 47 responses. 35 said that yeah, toxic masculinity is a thing. So it's funny. I asked. So later on, I asked another poll. I said, so if you said no, toxic masculinity is not a thing. Like why? Why do you think it's not a thing? I couldn't get no response.
I should definitely made a poll.
I couldn't get a response to anybody because you saying it's not a thing, but like you gotta be able to support your you gotta support your case, bro.
Well, you got a thesis, but you ain't got no body paragraphs.
Right.
Like, what you talking about? Your essays are relevant. Really.
Not for real.
I think the three main things when it comes to masculinity, like definitely from my point of view, is when it comes to like men suppressing emotions. Like, it's okay. That's why we opened it up with that video. It's okay to cry sometimes. I mean, of course, no one wants to see it all the time, but
Right.
sometimes you gotta let it out.
But I ain't gonna laugh at you because you crying,
Yeah,
bro.
and depending on the situation, maybe you really do need to cry.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Us athletes, man, we cry after certain games, like games that have a lot of value to us.
I know I cried after we lost in the playoffs. Definitely senior year of high school. I definitely cried.
Man, you remember me crying earlier this season, bro.
Yeah, stuff happens.
Okay, but have y'all ever cried because of school stressing you out?
Nah, I've never been that stressed out. Personally,
No.
I've just never been that stressed out at school.
I feel no, I've been that stressed out, but it just had I don't know, like crying for me is like it's a trigger. Like something really has to trigger me to cry.
Yeah, to be honest, something really has to happen. I think the
So may I ask a question?
Okay.
That's the question.
So as far as you're saying, toxic masculinity comes from emotional expression, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it would make someone more of a man if they expressed more emotion?
Oh yeah, I
If they
mean,
had that duality
yeah,
from being
That's a good question.
logical and emotional.
like bro, yeah. Obviously, there's gonna be things in life that's gonna make you upset or sad and stuff like that. And honestly, for me, like I said, like I'm a pretty open person. I can say that for myself.
Yeah,
Like-
I know me and Ant have definitely had some heart-to-heart conversations about life.
I think it's good for men to have those
Yeah.
talks with their
If you,
friends.
I mean, like, because it's to a point where if you, I mean, sometimes you don't really want to talk to a female about it.
Right.
Because it's certain things, it's like, all right, I need somebody who can really look at the same view as me to really understand why I'm going through this and stuff like that. So you definitely need some friends
Right.
that you can do. If you don't have any friends like that, you need to find some new friends.
And definitely, I'm about to say definitely. Like honestly, if I can cry in front of I can cry in front of Adrian. I can cry in front of my roommate. Like, bro, if I can do that in front of you, bro, you my dog. Like,
I'm not gonna look at you less of a man. Just 'cause
Like-
you cry, stuff happens.
exactly. Like, you my dog. Like, and I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. Like, if you don't have to hold it in all the time, bro.
Another thing? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I would say you don't have to hold it in all the time. Like, it's just like it's gonna happen at some point. And honestly, like I've seen stuff like holding that in, it can make things a lot worse for you.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Holding in emotions, bro, it makes things a lot worse for you. So, man, just let it out, bro. Just cry. If you gotta cry, cry. I ain't gonna get mad at you, bro.
Well, we're gonna switch gears. We're gonna go to the female side of toxicity. So we're gonna let Asia really.
Asia, this you.
This
you.
is the female side.
It's my turn.
We didn't want it to really seem all one-sided. So we wanted to have another side, another perspective.
So yeah, I was about to say. So before we get into like the female like toxicity, Asia, do you feel like women can contribute? Because I did a poll on that too, and out of 58 votes, 53 people said yes, women can contribute to toxic masculinity. So do you have any
Yes.
input on that?
I do. Of course I do. I feel like women can definitely contribute to toxic masculinity. As I said when I had talked to Ant, I was saying how like depending on how a female was raised, she has a certain outlook on how men should act. And so, say you're raised by, daddy issues. If she's raised by her father, she's gonna have more to expect out of a man. Whereas if not, she's gonna look to the niggas on the street, and that's contributing to toxic masculinity because those people aren't what men are. Like, you're supposed to look up to a elder, a higher up, to look at what a man is, not somebody trying to find himself. So the whole thing on Twitter with females looking for a man on Twitter because of what he has and what he, like, they look for what he has more than what he can do. Like, you know how we were saying money.
Right.
Definitely.
Like, a girl who basically, like a pick-me, like we said, a pick-me can contribute to toxic masculinity because it's an ego boost.
Right.
They want to show, a toxic feminine can attract a toxic masculine because of the ego thing. Like, they're not looking for genuinity. They're looking for somebody who can make them look good. And that's going to feed a masculine ego. And he's just going to think whatever because he got bitches. So I'm that nigga. But really, it's just like, no, you have somebody who appeals to your ego, who you portray yourself to be, not who you really are.
Okay. I like that answer. I like that answer. So, sticking to women, like we said, this is kind of your lane right now. Do you think women can be toxic to each other?
Yeah. Yes and no, because okay, so women can be toxic to each other in a sense of competition.
Okay.
But it's really like a societal thing because women are really just like there in a sense. Like, we're here in our own world, but it's when they try to live up to societal standards when it comes into play, because competition is really a man's game. Like, y'all know how life is it's a man's world type thing.
Okay.
And so we're like assets, but really not really.
I mean, that's a big statement right there, because a lot of people will say like, well, it's a whole lot of feminine movements going on. And
a lot of people really need to start standing up for women, because what I can say in the women community, like as far as sisterhood, it's a big lack of that across internationally. There's just a lack of sisterhood. Like, you're supposed to be able to go out and stand up for a woman who you see getting treated bad. Like, if you see a nigga and a female arguing on the street, you should want to stop and make sure she's good, because regardless if it's their business, yes, it's their business. You don't need to go and try to side with her, but you should have that intuitive feeling to protect her just in case shit do go left. Right. But instead, you want to go record it and be like, oh, she dumb as shit. She looked dumb arguing with this nigga outside, da-da-da-da. Then you're going to feel wild if you go home and see on the news that he shot her outside, but you were just clowning her on Instagram. Whereas, though, you should have been there for her. That's toxic. That's a woman being toxic towards another woman. Just like making how they feel, like what their idea is more important than what the whole situation really is.
Okay. So here's another. I want to like raise a question.
We love questions.
Typically, like, I don't know. This is more like in high school, but it carries on into the adult life. Like,
right. High school is really you finding yourself,
right?
In that.
But I also see like girls are like a lot like kind of clique oriented in a way, and if you're not messing with my clique, I can't mess with you type thing.
I don't like that.
Okay. So like, and that causes a lot of drama. Would you say any drama between that, like that contributes into that toxicity between females?
Females, yes. When it comes to like, okay, so like you said, mostly in high school, because out of high school it's really you on your own doing your own thing. But for the women that are growing up the girls that are growing into women that are still in high school, cliques are very toxic. It's really like, if you think about Mean Girls, the new girl walked into school and couldn't find nowhere to fit in because it was such like, she felt like she needed to fit into a clique in order to be seen in school. But cliques are really just like egos. It's different forms of egos, and you want to fit in, but it's no, not really. Because then it's just like you said, if my clique don't like your clique, we can't be cool. But what do y'all problems got to do with me?
Exactly. Sure.
That don't got nothing to do with me. And out of respect, yes, if that's your friend and they don't like somebody in another group, you don't need to be buddy-buddy. You don't need to be, spilling all the tea and everything going on. But it's a difference between being cordial and being somebody's best friend. And if my clique don't like your clique, cool, that's the boundary I won't cross. I won't go in her face, telling your business, talking about what happened on this day with this person. But if we don't got a problem, I'm not going to mug you in the hallway. Like, I'm going to say what's up and keep it pushing.
Right.
I'm going to be a nice person and not be, simple-minded. Just because y'all got problems don't mean I got a problem. I'm not going to make your beef my beef. We vegan over here. You don't do that. We don't do
like that.
And a lot of girls really will, like, that's how friendships fall. Like I said, like, the sisterhood is not there with the female community. Like, they will really fall off with their friend because they were speaking to somebody they're not cool with. Oh, I got into a fight with this girl. Okay, that was y'all fight. And now you want to cut off your friend because you saw them speaking. But, like, they didn't fight. They don't have an issue. So I don't see the problem in them speaking to each other. I don't see the problem in them sharing ideas. I don't see the problem in them, like, coexisting. You have to, like, there's people who fight on the street and you still have to coexist in the world with them. So what happens behind closed doors should not affect what the public sees. That's y'all personal issue. So keep it personal. Don't make it public.
Yeah.
Period.
I like that. Good response.
I have one more question. Okay, so
One more answer.
so I've witnessed like a lot of female friend groups change and break up. And personally, I'm not saying this is always happening, but I haven't personally seen like a female friend group with more than like 3-4 people.
What's your question?
Basically, why is that?
Because with females, it like I said before, it's really a competition thing. And you know the saying, I want to see you eat, just not at my table. That's really how it is. Like when you're in high school and when you grow up out of high school going into college, it's like you start finding different things for yourself. You start finding who you are, what you want to go after in life, the type of people you want to surround yourself with. So a female having a close circle, like I feel like you said, guys need their friend group. Like they need somebody they can run to. They don't always want to talk to their girl or whatever, or talk to their mom. They need that close friend they can run to. So a female having 2 to 3 close friends is essential. But a lot of females, don't get me wrong, it is good to have 2 or 3 close friends, but a lot of people think having no friends is normal.
Okay.
I don't need friends, I don't need this, A lot of people do that. That's why they have a small friend group, because people are, trust issues is a thing. But I would say that's why, because of trust issues. That's why people usually have small friend groups. But there's a difference between friends and acquaintances. There's a difference between acquaintance and a peer. So a female having, being seen with the same 2-3 females is really her friend group. Who she speaks to outside of that friend group, those are her acquaintances. And it changes up because people go through stuff. People fall out of alignment. At first we were seeing the same thing. At first we wanted the same thing. I went through some shit. Now I don't. You're still on that path. Good for you. I'm not.
Okay. I like that. So would you say, I know I kind of encountered this, like, well, we're kind of leading into the next topic as far as, the black community and stuff. I know definitely, man, when I come across, like, black men that I don't know, like, sometimes I get a mug from them. Like, I'm not your enemy, bro. I'm not trying to sit here, have no problems with you. Like, I kind of feel like within the black community, like, especially men, like you said, competition, like, we might be at a party or something. I don't know him, he don't know me. We there for the same purposes, but it's just like you kind of have like this kind of attitude towards me just because I'm there.
Yeah, they got their chest puffed up just because you look different.
You feel me? And I'm just saying, I don't necessarily like. I feel like would you say that kind of similar? And I'm not gonna say kind of. I feel like I've seen that happen because fights break out at parties for reasons just like that.
Yeah. So yes, I do feel like when it's like competition is just the highlight of everything. Like the world is your oyster, so there's gonna be a competition all the time. When you go to a party, it's always who look better, who you came with, and then like who you gonna leave with type thing. You came with your friends, but you're trying to leave with somebody else. So you gotta look a certain type of way. You gotta come in and assert yourself. But it's a difference between people who go to a party to have a good time and people who go to a party just to be there, just to be a part of something, just to be a part of the crowd. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you go to a party as a dude, it's really a stigma for you to look good, for you to smell good, and for you to have a cute friend group. If you go to a party and your friend's ugly, guarantee all of y'all leaving with each other to go to Whitney's. Okay? You're not leaving with no numbers.
We don't eat Wendy's no more though.
Nothing. No, cancel it. Sorry.
Yeah, can't do it.
Can't do
But
it.
yeah,
Alright.
like it's definitely a competition thing. Everything you can think of that's toxic, it comes from competition of somebody trying to outdo the next person. Somebody wants to be better than somebody, always. Where really you should just stay in your own lane. Stay in your own lane and do better than the person you were yesterday. Then you'll find what you need to find. But other than that, being in competition with somebody, it's just going to lead you down the wrong path. That's why people get in fights. That's why people on live arguing. That's why you can't find what you want to find in life because you're worried about the next
My
person.
gosh, Instagram Live is.
It's like, come on. Like, that's why you're stuck in the same position because you're in competition with the wrong people. You won't even look yourself in the mirror.
So, okay. I got another. So, like, we're just having a conversation right now. So, social media, too, I feel like contributes a lot to toxicity, right? Like you said, like we were talking about it earlier. People go on to Twitter and look for certain things to, you know, and, like, pretty much apply to their life or, you know, compare it to their life.
Yeah.
You know, like, especially like with celebrities, man. People all up in their business. Like, let's say, like, Moneybagg Yo, for example. Buying.
Moneybagg and Ari, everybody in her bag when she's in her bag. She's already in her bag. Get out her bag.
Right, or like Lil Baby and Jada. People always talk about how like Lil Baby doing this. Though granted, like that's not my business, but if he's wilding out, he's wilding out. I can't
And if
support
she's
that.
okay with it, she's okay with it.
Right.
You don't have to be, but that's why you're not in their relationship.
But I feel like people look at those situations and say, oh well, if they can do it, I can do it.
No.
Because Jada got her 3 Birkins and you have 3 tissues full of tears.
Oh my gosh.
That was.
Hey, say that one more time.
I said Jada got 3 Birkins or more. Who knows how many she got? Because baby got money. But she got 3 Birkins and you got 3 tissues full of tears. Y'all not running the same game, baby. It don't work like that.
Stay in your lane before you crash. Shout out to my man X. I get that from him.
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane before you crash, man.
So I got a question for you guys.
Okay.
So since we on the topic of social media being toxic,
Okay.
do you feel like guys put on a front for their social media? You know how they be flashing money,
Oh no.
flexing,
Oh.
flexing,
Definitely.
flexing, and flexing. There's a difference between dripping and flexing. Do you feel like?
Oh yeah.
Do you feel like men have the mentality to just flex on social media?
Oh yeah. Everybody wants to show like, man, I got these bands coming in. I got the Balenci's on my feet. You know what I'm saying? Just that image of like that toxic macho image of like, man, you got it. Like you gotta have the money, you gotta have the car, you gotta have, you know, the designer, all that extra stuff, man. Like you don't need that to be a man. You don't need that. You don't need it to be a person. Like,
Because the saddest thing is, a lot of people may have the designer stuff, they just don't know how to rock it. It's
Right.
really bad. It's like they got on mismatch everything. It's like, well, what you got it for if you don't know how to use it? You know what I'm saying?
you could be wearing designer, but you walk into the bus stop, bro. I don't.
Yeah, like stuff like that.
Okay, snaps to that one.
Get a car first. Something about that.
How you drop 5 racks on your shoes, but you could get a car up a lot for 5 racks and still walk to the
Don't
bus.
got a bus
stop.
card.
Right. Exactly, bro. Exactly. But yeah, social media just like.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we said, like that image of just like people like
Validation.
just flexing. Like people want that validation from somebody else saying,
Yeah.
like, man, look,
Oh, okay.
yeah, check me out, man, check me out. I look sweet. No, what I say, bro? You worry about looking sweet, bro? You're not even washing your hands. That's another topic for another day.
Nails dirty. What you doing?
Oh, we throwing shots.
I mean, but no, like, all right, like, so kind of like you said, nails done, like, bro, like. So let's kind of get back into like the toxic kind of thing. Like, so me, I ain't gonna lie, I get my manicure, pedicure from time to time.
Right.
Some people might look at that as feminine. Nah, bro.
And it's not feminine. That's hygiene. That's taking care of yourself.
You gotta take care of yourself, because like you said, your nails be dirty underneath, bro. And the next, you know, them cuticles be coming out. You don't want it just be looking nasty, bro. Take care of yourself, bro. There's nothing wrong with going out and get a manicure, pedicure. I mean, at first I ain't gonna lie, I was a little nervous the first time I went into the.
I want my mom.
You went with your
I was
nah.
the only guy in that. Everyone was looking at me, but I was like, I'm mom, I don't think I should be here.
Yeah, I was in there by myself, bro. Like, okay, this is a scene. You know? This is new for me. Cause I got my hand out. She making me feel all. I feel good though. Like, don't get me
That's what I
wrong.
was literally about to ask. I'm like, but you feel good though, didn't you?
Exactly, and that's what I think people need to get back on focusing on themselves. Like that's what like we said, toxicity is about, like competition and all this other stuff. Man, take care of yourself first.
Like I said earlier, toxicity is just an addiction to negativity. Like they feed off of it. It's just like the devil on your shoulder saying, do it, say it, make them mad, go after it. But it's just like, for what? Just to get the reaction, but like it don't do nobody no good at the end. Just stay true, stay you.
Well, on that note, we're gonna change gears right into the toxicity in the black community. So we're gonna touch on that.
Heavy.
It's very heavy. I put a poll. We put polls.
We both propose.
I put a poll. Do you think That's what I said. Toxicity is heavy in the black community. 35 people said yes, 4 people said no.
Yeah, similar results.
Can you run that statistic by me again?
35 people said it is heavy, 4 people said it isn't heavy.
So I'm similar. I had 32 people said that it is heavy, 4 people saying it's not.
And definitely as a black man,
I'm gonna talk to those 4 people.
those 8 people for real.
Definitely definitely as a black man growing up.
And where y'all come from?
It definitely is heavy in the black community. It really is, because I feel like young black boys have to grow up quicker than other race. I'm not trying to really like work better or nothing. I'm just saying I feel like I just feel like black young boys have to
mature faster.
Yeah, mature faster. Yeah, boys like that saying. Boys don't cry. Like, don't cry. Like, what are you crying for? You're
Men
supposed
don't
to be a
cry.
man.
You're a man now.
Yeah, you're supposed to not cry. You a man. Like, nah. You heard 21 Savage. Sometimes I cry.
Like I remember I went to Jamaica, and it was to see my dad, right? And I was leaving, and I was crying. Not because I didn't want to leave, of course. This was when I was younger.
Right.
My granddad in Jamaica looked at me and was like, "Why are you crying? You're supposed to be a man." And as a kid, I was like, "Dang, I'm really here looking like a softie out." But then growing up, it was like, "No, I haven't seen my dad in a while. I'm about to leave him. I'm gonna miss him. Like, what's going on?"
Exactly.
It's an expression. Like people really think expressing your emotions is like a bad thing because you're not supposed to look soft. But people's weaknesses really be your strength, because there's people out here who can't express emotion, and look at how their life is going. They're fighting demons for all 22 years of their life.
Yeah, because
why are you fighting demons for 22 years when you can just confront them?
That's true. Just let it go. Like, but that's the thing. Like, that build up. Like, at some point, it's gonna come out. You can't. It's gonna come out, and unfortunately, it can come out to the wrong person. So, like, say you're dealing with somebody, right? Like, kind of like a romantic setting. You know, you have a lot of stuff built in because of trauma, like just a lot of things that you've been holding in for your life. Say that person does like one thing that kind of like doesn't sit with you well. That at any given point, that all that emotion that you've been holding in for 22 years, like you've been saying, it's gonna come out.
It's gonna come out.
And it's gonna come off as toxic. Like, come on, bro. Like, you can't. That shouldn't be somebody else's responsibility to take in your
everything that you held
And that's what
back
I was
for
saying earlier
years.
with the gaslighting, using your overwhelming amounts of emotion to appeal to somebody. Like, what that got to do with me? I'm sorry you went through it, but what do you want me to do with this information at this very moment?
Right. Another thing that heavy in the black community, as far as like we see as toxic growing up, like homophobia.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So here's my stance, right? You do what you do. I've been doing what I do. What I've been doing does not affect what you do. What you do does not affect what I do.
And if it does,
That's a problem.
you need to work on something.
Right. Like if somebody, like people like what they like. I always say that. You can't control somebody from liking what they want to like. So, but somebody like if somebody decides to be gay, I can't look at you no different because I'm a human. At the end of the day, we all human, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I feel like, especially like in the black community, like people kind of look down upon the LGBTQ community because they don't necessarily agree with their values and what they want to do with their lives. What they're doing with their lives does not affect you, Mark. You know what I'm saying? It does not affect you. Like, think
Can
about.
I make a point?
Yes, go ahead. Do you?
Yes, ma'am.
So look, in the black community, it's really gonna like piggyback off what Ann was saying, how like it shouldn't affect how you see somebody. So with black families, it's really weird because it's all about image. It's like the family name. Like, as soon as they come across the one family member who's gonna change the family name, like the family dynamic, everybody husband and wife, suddenly your son comes out as gay, it's gonna be husband and husband. They don't want that. But I don't see why it's an issue, because why do you want the same repetitive cycle? Because that's where toxicity comes in, literally from, it's like ancestral, like keeping up with the family dynamic. And that's not good. Like, the world is changing, shit is going different, we learning new things. We're in the age of information. It's time to learn about different stuff. Right. It's time for you to change your perspective. So for you to keep trying to stick to what Grandma Linda said in 1952, I'm sorry, Grandma, I love you, but that's not how we living right now. And so with this whole pride thing, I'm not trying to make it black and white, because it's all people, people, period. But it's really like fetishized with white people. Like, you look up gay, like lesbian, gay couples, and you see white people. You go to Pornhub and search gay, and you see white people. You search lesbian, you see white people. You gotta add black to these things.
Right.
And that's really that don't sit right with me. Like,
I feel that.
It's I don't want to keep saying toxic, but that's really the topic.
Yeah.
It's toxic.
Yeah, it's toxic.
It's a negative connotation to anything. Of any black person being expressive of who they are, it's seen as bad, as toxic. A man wanting to be a man, toxic. A man wanting to be with a man, that's not good. You're going to hell. How? Why? Why?
Why?
If anything, like, a man being able to love a man takes courage. It's the people out here who can't even love their woman right. A man can't even love a woman right, and he gets more praise for that.
Right.
But a man can't love a man the right way, how somebody should be loved, to be seen, to be cared for, and he's wrong for that because it's the same sex. Like, 2 plus 2 making 17 right now. That's not working for me.
You said 2 plus 2 equals 17.
Where they do that at?
Man, at the end of the day,
And wherever they do it,
yeah,
keep it there.
I feel
keep
you.
it there.
At the end of the day, like what you said, times is changing. We obviously living in a capitalist thing. If somebody being gay does not mess up your money, bro, don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. You know, let those people do what they want to do. Because you've been doing what you do. Nobody's telling you why are you straight. At the end of the day.
No, for real. Nobody's questioning why you fuck so many girls.
Literally. But I mean, that's kind of wrapping it up on this episode, guys. Asia, thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
For having me.
for
It
your
was
presence.
fun.
So like I said,
Yes, clap it up.
so Asia, one more thing. You say you do tarots, right? You want to go ahead and support yourself real quick. Let people know what you do.
Hey, thank you. So yes, I am an intuitive tarot reader. A lot of people think tarot reading is like fortune telling. They think it's reading your future, but it's, for me, I use it as a guidance system. So if you want to holler at your girl, post a few cards, and we just talk about you, your life. It's triggering. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of shadow work. You know, we're talking about toxicity, so I'm gonna pull out a card, and it's gonna talk about how toxic you are. But it's okay. It's perfectly fine, because that's what we need to work on. So you guys can follow me.
I need to do that.
Hey, I mean, I might have to do something too, man. It comes all from
Hey
within.
man, we could do one card. I could just put, if you hit me up, just do one card and we'll talk about it. It'll tell me a lot.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, just follow me at India Tashay, INDIYATYSHAI. DM me and we can do some tarot talk. It's not scary, I promise. It's not what TV makes it to be.
All right, so y'all got it there. We're gonna make sure we tag Asia in the comments below.
Thank you.
But you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe.
Subscribe and share with your mama, your daddy, your grandmother.
Everybody.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody. In the club, getting tips.
And what's that, episode 4?
That's episode 4. Yep.
We halfway done?
We halfway done, man. I don't know. So, like I said, y'all take care. Keep washing your hands.
Love, peace, and hair grease.
Go sign some petitions, all that stuff.
And we out.
And we are done.